People are going to be really angry when they hear this, but they need to hurry to the gas station and fill up their tanks while prices are still relatively low. The Energy Information Administration, (NIA), recently sent out a letter saying that the national reserves of all oil-based fuels, such as gasoline, diesel, and heating oil, have been used up and could run out in less than a month. This is making people worry that there will be shortages and prices will go up in the next couple of weeks. In fact, some states already have trouble getting cash and have seen prices rise by 30% in just 1 week. The trend is quickly spreading across the whole country, which worries officials, business leaders, and refineries that are already running at full capacity, but still can't meet the demand. When fuel prices double or rise from where they are now, chaos will break out all over the country. This will push millions of people over the edge. This is just the start of an energy crisis that has never happened before, and the fact that energy supplies in the United States are running out before winter even starts is very scary. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our new videos. Mansfield Energy is sending out a code red alert because there will be fuel shortages all over the country in less than 25 days. The U.S. fuel market is facing a nightmare because supplies are getting low. A drought on the Mississippi River is forcing more products to be shipped by rail and truck. And a rail strike is coming up, which has caused freight prices to skyrocket and is likely to keep going up. According to the Energy Information Administration, our national reserves of gasoline, diesel, and heating oil are too low and could run out before the end of the month. The crisis is getting worse every day, according to the EIA, which urged the government to act quickly to avoid a total breakdown of energy reserves. Entities is calling it a perfect storm because there aren't enough supplies and demand is going up before winter. This is a recipe for even higher prices that will spread across industries and hit consumers whose wallets are already empty. The U.S. has the fewest gasoline reserves it has had since 2008, but it has never had so few diesel reserves since 1951. The agency also said that the problem isn't that refiners aren't trying to increase production. Since October, they've been running at 1,025% of their capacity, but the market was already tight because several refining plots were shut down for good during the pandemic. And since February, the U.S. government has been sending huge amounts of energy supplies made in the U.S. to other countries. According to John Klotzer, the global hand of energy analysis at Opus, this has left our energy reserves in the U.S. at dangerously low levels. If we don't make inventories between now and the end of November, the wolf will be at the door, and if it's a cold winter, it will look like a big, ugly wolf. After reaching a peak in the summer, steady supplies and lower gas prices could decide the midterms. About 100 days in a row, gas prices went down, which made people like the government more. But since more than 70% of Americans say that inflation is their biggest worry and 95% are worried about gas prices, the government is doing everything it can to keep prices low for now. But experts say we shouldn't think this will last for very long. In fact, prices started going up again in October, and some eastern states ran out of gas. So now it is the time to start filling up our tanks and stocking up on gas while it's still available, and we can still afford it, because this crisis is quickly getting out of hand, and it's not even windy yet. Many cities in California just broke their all-time high temperature records last week. Prices reached $6.46 per gallon in the Los Angeles and Long Beach area. They went up to $6.42 in Orange County. Drivers in Riverside County had to pay $6.33 per gallon. At the same time, gas shortages are making their way up and down the East Coast, raising prices at the pump from New York to Maine. In several counties, prices went over $4 per gallon, which is an increase of about 38 to 42 cents per gallon, or 30% in 1 week. Local news shows that gas stations in the area are running out of gas because imports are slowing down because of the global energy crisis. Even though the United States makes a lot of gasoline, most of what is made on the Gulf Coast is sent to markets in other countries. Because of infrastructure problems, the East Coast has to buy gasoline from other countries. But since the Ukraine crisis started, which disrupted energy supplies across Europe and sent flows elsewhere, these imports have been going down steadily. Right now, 25% less gasoline and blending components are being shipped into New York than there were in November 2021. Bluebird looked at data from Vortexa and found that supplies in the area around New York Harbor are at their lowest level in a decade for this time of year. As a result, diesel prices are going up again, and shortages are spreading from coast to coast. Andy Lippo, president of Lippo Oil Associates Log, said that the price of diesel is expected to go up by 15 to 20 cents in the next few weeks. The average price of diesel across the country is currently 5.32 cents per gallon. According to Lippo, diesel stocks are at their lowest level since 1990 in the New York and New England markets. They have dropped by more than 50% since last year and are now at their lowest level since 1990. Also, supplies of diesel fuel are going down in the Midwest, which is driving up costs for farmers. Mike Steenhoek, the head of the Soy Transportation Coalition, said that when he talked to a number of farmers, he found that they all agreed that higher diesel prices make it harder to make money. As far as gate supplies goes, it looks like the hardest hit areas are those that depend on the Mississippi River the most. A couple of farmers said that their local supplier only has diesel for 1 day at a time. The problem is getting worse to the point where a major fuel supply and logistics company has warned of fuel shortages across the country. Last Friday, Mansfield Energy sent out a warning that there could be a fuel shortage in the country because of bad pipeline shipping economies and historically low fuel reserves. The company said poor pipeline shipping economies and historically low fuel inventories are causing shortages in many markets across the country. In the next few weeks, Maryland, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina are likely to feel the effects of the shortage in a big way as well, because things are getting worse quickly and the economy of the market is changing a lot every day. Mansfield is moving to Alert Level 4 to deal with market volatility. In his prayer statement, Mansfield said that the company would go on. Mansfield is also putting the Southeast on code red and asking for deliveries to be made whenever possible 72 hours in advance. This is to make sure that fuel and freight can be secured at reasonable prices. If people think that a lack of gasoline is already a problem, it's because they can't fully imagine the chaos that would spread across the country if the diesel shortage got worse. Almost all of our trains, trucks, and ships would stop running if diesel supplies ran out. This would stop the delivery of almost everything we buy from stores and supermarkets that comes to us on trains, trucks, and ships. So the fact that inventories can go down in less than a month is a really big deal. Patrick Dijon, head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy, says that diesel is the fuel that keeps the economy going. On top of everything else that's going wrong, he said, higher fuel costs will be passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices, especially at the grocery store, the hardware store, and anywhere else you shop. Tomcats also point out that the lack of diesel in the U.S. will make the lack of heating oil around the world even worse, which is the lowest it's been since 1982, And in that time, we've added about 3.4 billion more people, he said. Distillate fuel shortages could also make inflation worse because they raise the prices of consumer goods and heating bills. According to the IEA's October Window Fuels Outlook, households that use heating oil to heat their homes will pay hundreds of dollars more this winter than they did last winter. This is because prices are expected to go up by nearly one-third from last winter. The agency said that the price pressures currently affecting the U.S. distillate market will result in higher heating oil margins this winter. These pressures include low inventories, low imports, and limited refining capacity. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission is asking the federal government to act quickly to stop a natural gas shortage that will happen this winter. In a letter to President Biden, Joseph Nolan, the CEO of Eversource Energy, said that this is a major threat to public health and safety. Eversource's request comes at a time when more and more people are worried about energy shortages in some of the most populated parts of the U.S. I'm just worried that if we get a polar vortex or a cold snap in the area, there won't be enough fuel for the electric generating units in the area to keep giving our customers electricity, he said. All of this means that things could quickly go from bad to worse. We could have avoided this problem altogether if emergency measures had been taken sooner. Now, nothing but a miracle can make things better. Over the past 10 years, we should have built a lot more refineries, but that wasn't on the agenda of our leaders, so now we all have to pay the price. As the cost of shipping rises, the prices of the goods we consume will increase as well. This will put further strain on our standard of living, which is already declining at a rapid pace. The global energy crisis is not going to end anytime soon, and this will only make things worse for the millions of Americans who are struggling to make ends meet. That's all for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more videos from our channel, subscribe and make sure to turn on the bell icon.